my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about why I feel like trans women are real women. And I'm going to preface this first by saying my lips are very dry right now. I'm aware. Please mind your business, okay? I'm very aware my lips are dry right now, okay? But I just feel like I look crazy, but it's fine. Like I have my face in the sun. Brush your park. It's fine. It's fine. I want to talk about how I feel like, why I feel like trans women are real women. And I want to talk about this because I was having a conversation with my friend. I'm going to talk slower. I was having a conversation with my friend yesterday. And from her perspective as to why trans women, she feel like trans women are not real women, that one was real easy to debunk. Real easy for me to eat that. But for those of you who feel like, oh, you don't have a period, you don't, all those other perspectives, I can eat that up too, real quick. But before I do, I need to preface this by saying, what I'm about to say would not make sense to you if you're too tied to our reality, to the life, to the physical world we're living. If you're too tied to the physical and you're not understanding of God and the spiritual, okay? And you understand why I say that, okay? But if you're too tied to, like, you understand why I said that, okay? I'm not gonna over-explain myself. If you get me, you get me. If you don't, if you just need to not understand me, hey, that's you. I don't really care, because click off. Go on. Do you. Go be closed-minded. Or have an intellectual debate with me. Or don't. I don't want to debate. I mean, intellectual debates, I like this because, like, different perspectives, you know what I'm saying? Just bouncing different perspectives off each other. But, like, I don't want to argue with nobody. Okay? But, so, my lips just feel so dry. I wish I brought my purse with me. I just came to the park. I mean, let me flip the camera. Oh, I can't flip it while it's recording. I'm at the park by my apartment. This is the park. And that's the park. Can y'all see it? I hope I actually showed it. I didn't see what I showed y'all. But, okay. Let me get back to the point. Now, with my friend perspective, she was saying how, like, well, she doesn't walk around being like, oh, you're not a real woman, you're not a real woman, whatever. But once those trans women who want to fight real women, who want to, like, argue with her and stuff like that, okay, that's when she whatever. She feels like they're delusional. Now, okay. I understand where she's coming from in the sense of, like, you're delusional because you were born a man thinking you're a real woman, right? Okay. She said that, she was like, I can't walk around saying I'm a millionaire. No, I don't got $1 million, you know what I'm saying? And I looked at her, I was like, actually, you can. She was like, I'm not talking about that. I'm like, no, you can. Like, if you want to talk about it from that perspective, as they're being delusional because you're not a real woman, you know you wasn't born with a woman, you know God didn't give you a coochie, he give you a wee-wee, so why are you trying to, you know what I'm saying, tell people you're a woman knowing it's not that, and you know everything you made to be a woman is all surgical, right? You cannot call them delusional for that. Now, I love analogies, okay? I love analogies, I love poetry. I love analogies, okay? When my friends saying, oh, I can be a millionaire and say I'm a millionaire or whatever, you can. If you know in your heart and your soul and the depths of, if you know, okay, let me preface this by saying first, before I dive deeper, because I love topics like this, okay? Okay. So, I believe, this is everything I speak about is my perspective from my personal journey, right? I believe we're all, let me get my hand off the brake. I believe we're all God's creation, experiencing God's creation. Meaning, higher power, Allah, universe, whatever. My mouth, I just feel like my mouth is so dry. It's really fucking with me, y'all. Fuck. But fuck it, I'm so sorry. Please excuse my mouth, okay? If I had chopstick, I would use it. I promise y'all I would use it. I promise I would use it. Fuck, man. I'm not too happy about this at all. Maybe if I hydrate, you know? You hydrate. Excuse me. Oh my God, that was... Oh, excuse me. So sorry. But, you know what? It was cold as hell because it's been in the car. And it's cold as fucking Dallas right now. So it's been in the car cold as fuck. Boom. Back to the video, though. So, whatever you believe in, right? We're all God's creation, experiencing God's creation. I personally believe God is a woman because when you want to... Okay. Because I know when I see women, it's like, oh my God, you need to leave. Get out of here. You need to leave. Who are you? When I say woman, and if you're looking at it from like a human perspective, from a human experience perspective, it sounds like, oh, you want women to be everything. No. But if you're looking at it from a scientific and spiritual perspective, which is all that exists energy, feminine energy is all that could recreate, that could reproduce. I'm not saying God is a woman. I'm saying God is the ultimate feminine energy. Okay? Can we meet there? Can we meet at that point? God is the ultimate feminine energy because he created his creations to experience his creations. The trees, air, breathing. He gave people ideas to create things. McDonald's, Burger King, Six Flags, TV shows, movies, music, different genres. He gave people the ideas to create more for us to experience. But what is part of life experience is duality. Okay? Balance. What goes up must come down, the good and the bad. But it's like, there's no such thing as good as bad, only your perception. But that catalyst of something perceived bad happening for good to happen has to happen. I'm not saying slavery needed to happen. I'm not saying it should have happened. But I'm saying God allowed it to happen. What I'm saying is, despite your free will, God allows what is going to benefit his plan. Okay? So... you could try to do X, Y, and Z with your free will, but if God knows that you doing X, Y, and Z is not going to benefit his bigger plan, his creation, he's not going to allow it to happen. So he allows some things that we might perceive as bad, as wrong to happen because I know my God, okay? I know for whatever bad he allows to happen, trust me, he has a plan to double the blessing to give it to the next person. I pinky you. Somebody going to find out, oh, this is their calling, to be a lawyer in this field, to be a lawyer for these people, to be a doctor. Do you know what I'm saying? It's everything happens for a reason. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm getting off topic. Back to trans women. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know I ramble. If you're still here, love you. But what I'm saying is, so since we're all God's creation, experiencing God's creation, right? What I feel like is a piece of God is our souls. Okay, this is our vessel. This is the vessel that God blessed us with. I bet you the first gay man who knew in his heart and so he wants to be a gay woman, or he not gay. Well, that too. Gay people, trans women who like studs. That's what they like in their heart. Like, and it's to me, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a lesbian, and some things I'm not okay with seeing, but I accept spiritually. I know I'm not okay seeing physically because I'm not used to seeing it, and it makes me kind of uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not gonna sit up here like, you can't kiss in front of me. I don't want to see two men kissing. I know my uncomfortability is the fact that I haven't seen it often, and also like I don't like that, but. I don't, anywho, back to stuff. I'm talking in circles. Sorry, y'all. I'm going to try to stay on point. Okay? Because I'm going to start talking about other things. But, if you want me to elaborate on that, I can. But this is not what the video is about. Okay? But back to trans women or whatever. So, I feel like our souls, you know what I'm saying? For example, when my friend was saying, oh, you could skip. I'm going to tell y'all to skip. Let me write this down. Skip to 9:36. If you want to if you want me to get straight to the point, basically. Got a pen on me. Well, 9:50. 9:53. Okay, we're back. Okay. Now back to trans women. I feel like, back to what my friends was saying. She was saying how, like, okay, I can say I'm a millionaire and I'm not, like, I can walk around saying I'm a millionaire and being delusional as fuck. Yes, you can. And I feel like for some people, since they limit themselves in their life, they are so upset that somebody else is not holding themselves back by not living in their truth. They feel the need to make their personal truth a fact in somebody else's life. Stay with me. What I mean by that is, like, and I tell my friend this, I feel like in society, really laws, it's just a group of people who came together, had their personal opinions, personal perspective, that they feel like is a fact, and felt the need to have a law to back behind it, so they feel factual. They cannot live with the fact that somebody else is living their truth. So they feel the need to block somebody else living their life fully in their happiness by putting laws in place. Stay with me. Now, some things are morally wrong. Nazis are wrong. Is that their free will? Yes. Stay with me. Why? Because in their life experience has validated why they think the way they think, act the way they act, believe what they believe, and want to do what they're doing. Same thing with slave masters. Same thing with the Asian concentration camps. That's literally anybody who, there's some things that are morally right, I believe. When I say morally right, I mean, like, okay, there's not an argument about it, because you're entitled to believe what you want to believe or whatever. That's your opinion. That's your perspective. I'm not going to sit up here and argue with you when I know your life experience has validated why the fuck you feel so valid about that. But babes, is morally wrong, but hey, do you. I just know God's going to make sure that your morally wrongdoings do not prosper in his creation. That's why you see people who do wrong for so long. You eventually, what goes up will come down. That's why when somebody do me wrong, I don't sit up here and be mad. This is off topic. I'm going to write a different number down. Because this is a different video I wanted to write about. And I was talking about trans women here. Not about, you know what I'm saying? Not letting people's perspectives get to you. So, sorry about the ramble. 12:30. Let's write that number down. Back to trans women. I'm going to post the full thing regardless because I don't really like editing. I don't. Moment of honesty. I don't like editing. But, back to what I was saying. Okay. I feel as though, like, with trans women or whatever, well, debunking it from my friend's perspective, right? Back to what you were saying about them being delusional. I feel like I was telling him, like, you limit yourself in your mind and your life. You feel like you cannot walk around saying and carry yourself as a millionaire because you don't have the money in your bank. So you feel delusional for doing that. But if you know what you feel in your heart and your soul, okay, it's something you feel. Yes, trans women, some men are born into a man body. But some people in their heart and their soul from a kid, they know what the fuck they felt like they were supposed to be. They're not saying they thought God was wrong. But sometimes they're meant to be a catalyst in their family life, in the world. There's a TED Talk I saw years ago about one dude. He transitioned twice. From a man to a woman, back to a man, back to a woman. Me personally, back then when I was a kid, I was like 16 when I saw the video. I just thought he had too much money and time on his hands. Because how you pay for all these surgeries and how you... But he's meant to be a catalyst for somebody. For example, Santana, who loves his beard but dresses cut and wears makeup. He's a catalyst for somebody. Because a lot of times people don't feel comfortable living their truth because they don't see somebody who looks like them. Okay? But they know what they feel in their heart. Some men like wearing dresses, but they know they straight. Now, to me, I can't believe that. But I just know it's my personal human conformations and from my life experience and, you know what I'm saying, what I'm used to seeing, what I'm used to knowing, what I call men gay jokingly, but I don't mean it seriously, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Men who paint their nails, who like women who are gay, love eating boom boom, okay? but they don't feel comfortable living their truth because society draws their own opinions about them. Okay? Some men naturally have... Okay, so what I was going to tell my friend... What I was telling my friend was... There's this one show on Apple TV. A girl had no money to her name, walked around, got investors, got into hotels, did not pay the tab on these hotels, was able to check in, get room service, leave out. She was not rich. She went to jail. Now she's out of jail and she's actually living like a millionaire, whatever the fuck that bitch named Anna something. She was delusional from your perspective. There's a man right now who knew since he was a kid meant to be a woman. God bless him with the life experience, the jobs, the sugar daddies, whatever the fuck he wanted or whatever space he put himself with. God protected him and provided him with the tools, money he needed to transition to who he wanted to be. And now he's in a loving relationship with a man or a woman. And he has a boom boom. And he loves his life and he feels comfortable in his own body. Respectfully, you can say trans women are not real women, but you cannot tell somebody what they feel in their heart and their soul. So the fact that, and what I'm saying is, like, you could feel like that and live your truth and they live their truth. And I was going to tie to what I was talking about with my friend about how, like, don't let people's perspective hinder or dictate your perspective on yourself. If you feel like you're a real woman or you identify being a real woman having a period, and my friend she was also saying, by the way, she was like, oh, and I was agreeing with her. I'm like, yes, trans women do not have their own, do not really understand from a woman's standpoint what it is to be a woman. To grow up, not being able to do certain things. To grow up being idealized, being sexualized. To grow up, being hindered. Or to have weird friends or have weird girlfriends or have dude not choosing you or whatever the case may be. All those experiences, the good and the bad, that come with having women face, titties, ass, whatever the case may be. Or looking manly but being a real woman, or looking too womanly so being sexualized and not being taken seriously, whatever the case may be. Yes, trans women do not have those experiences, but if that's what you consider yourself a real woman, you're right. If they consider themselves a real woman because the trans woman got a pussy, they're right. Because I promise you, my friend considers a real woman a woman who wears makeup, be dressy, but there's a trans woman, not trans woman. There's a stud out there right now who walks outside with their strap on, who tapes their titty up. They don't want to transition into being an actual trans man, but they like dressing like that. And they consider themselves a real woman. You gonna tell them no? God put them in that vessel. They're just choosing to dress it up like that. But God put them in that vessel. You gonna tell them they're not a real woman? You can't. Because God made them right? Okay. And they don't want to be a man. So let's exactly. We're gonna see it from trans women being real women from how I believe God sees us from a God standpoint. Okay? You're gonna understand that everything's a catalyst. Like, for example, I'm going to use Steven Universe, for example, like gems. All those gems are women. They merge together. They fall in love. They don't identify as lesbian. I'm a lesbian. No. Their words like lesbian, gender, what we consider male, what we consider female, that's human constructs. There's a reality if you believe in multiple timelines, if you believe in stuff like that. If you don't, this analogy will not work for you, okay? But if you believe in multiple timelines and different realities and stuff like that, there's, you know how they say you create your reality, and like there's multiple realities where, like, for example, I'm talking too fast, I'm sorry, I'm getting too excited. But for example, there's a reality that exists right now where everything is exactly the same like ours. Everything is exactly the same to a T. But it's normal to walk around naked. The whole world does it. Goes to work, all that. Sounds far-fetched, but it exists. You know what's far-fetched? A millionaire could DM you and say, hey, I want to give you this house. I don't want it no more. I see you work here. I saw you have to work at this store or whatever. I see you want to give you this house. It sounds far-fetched, right? But there's somebody who right now in our world living, and that's their truth. Right? Go on TikTok. Right? So it's about how much you limit yourself to. And back to what I said about timelines, right? This timeline exists right now to where everything's exactly the same like our reality, except there's no such thing as genders, black or white or races. Everybody's aware that their colors is different, but they're not aware mentally to where like they're differentiating. So if somebody walks around, you know what I'm saying, one neither one is just like a man, next one to be a woman, it's fine because that reality does not have a gender construct. So somebody choosing to wear pants and put on a fake beard for the day, the next day wear a dress with makeup. Nobody looks at them like, oh, you're like, oh my God, I love the new fit today, because in that reality, there is no gender construct. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You get what I'm trying to say? If what I'm saying don't make sense to you, I probably sound crazy, which is fine as well. I really don't fuck. But yeah. That's my point. I want to add more to it. Oh. And if you're seeing it from a place of like you're not a real woman because you didn't have woman experiences, you're right. Because you feel like, because right now, there's a woman who exists who does not see being sexualized as being part of a woman's experience. They're not saying that women haven't experienced it, but they're saying that it's not part of a woman's experience because they didn't experience it not one day in their life. There's women on this earth who have never been sexualized, who have never been looked at, who have never been chosen, who have never been wanted to be that's too far-fetched. And I'm not saying like they're ugly with it, but I'm saying either one, they've never been around those experiences, or two, they never felt like they have been seen to be chosen for those horrible women experiences. No, those are horrible. No quotation marks. Those are horrible women experiences. Pause. Okay, they are. But you know what I'm trying to say? So they don't consider those certain things as part of being a real woman or part of a woman's experience. You know what I'm saying? Some women have never experienced being shunned or being belittled because she's a woman. Majority of us has, but I'm stuttering so much, I'm sorry. But there's a small amount of women who haven't had those experiences, okay? So what I'm trying to say is, I'm not saying trans women are real women from having our experiences. I'm saying they're real women because they're their own version of real women, a real woman. The same way that as we women create our forms of what we consider real women. A woman who stays home and cooks, doesn't want to clean, doesn't want no kids. She's a real woman. She don't want to struggle. A woman who strips and has niggas taking care of her. She's a real woman. She don't want to struggle. A woman who's fine with taking care of a man, paying all his bills, she's a real woman. She wants to be a clown. There's different forms of real women. There's different forms of real men. Some men know in their heart and their soul, they don't even think about dabbling in men. They don't like feminine stuff. So they know it's hard for them to generally find women they find attractive or be with real women because they deem them as gay because of what they like as a man who does like boom boom. And for some of us to be like, ain't no way, there's no way that you're not gay. There's no way you're not gay because you too feminine. The whole time, he just real into it, balancing his feminine and masculine energy. And maybe the feminine shows more, but he knows what he likes to play in. He knows what he likes to go to sleep with. So what I'm trying to say is, we're all God's creation, experiencing God's creation. And God blessing somebody with the idea to even be able to create the surgery for men to have boom boom and for us to have titties, for men to take pills, for them to have more of the women, what makes us women, estrogen, what's it called, estrogen, whatever the pill's called, hormones. God blessed somebody with the idea to create these things. Okay, God is making it easier and easier for us to live in our truth. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you are. Me, I find furries very weird. I don't know why you want to do that. I don't get it. But that's your truth. You know in your heart and your soul, you're furry. You're an animal. I'm just taken aback. But I'm not going to call you weird. Sometimes I call them weird jokingly. But I would never intentionally call a furry weird to hurt their feelings, because that's your truth. You're living your truth. Is my eyes, my mind, my brain used to your truth? No. But that's your truth. If you want to wear that outside, go ahead. Who am I to stop you? Literally, who am I to stop you? That's for like everybody who feel like they have to stop people from living their happiness, in the sense of, like, for example, abort or gay marriage, if you know what I said, you know what I mean? But I don't think YouTube won't be like that. Abortion, I can say abortion. But yeah, in those aspects, like, I can understand that's your opinion, but at the same time, you're literally hindering people who, those personal opinions that you want to make laws is literally putting people's lives in danger. People are born in knowing their heart and their soul. Like, when I tell you, like, they feel so uncomfortable. It's like you talking about, people call it mental dysphoria, whatever the fuck it's called. I don't know. But they know what they feel in their soul, okay? They know what they feel in their soul. And some people will lose themselves trying to strive to live their truth. And that's the most beautiful part. A lot of y'all who feel like, oh, you're superior because you conform to society norms, or you can accept something that's outside society norms. There's some truths you have that you're not living. Be honest. Be honest. Okay? I have some truths that I have that I'm not living. But it's like, some truths I know I have, I'm judging myself for it. Because there are people out there who live that truth. And I'm just like, I wish I could. But yeah, that's my TED Talk on why I feel like trans women are real women. Share your thoughts in the comment section, or don't. Share it or don't. Like it or don't. Watch it or don't. Actually do. But if you don't, I respect it. I'm fine with that. And have a great Sunday. Bye, y'all. Quite like you, but